Hello everyone, missed you all. How are you? I hope you guys had a beautiful Christmas and I hope you guys are planning for an amazing new year. Today I'm going to be talking about my gear list and the things that I took with me to my through hike of the Tahoe Rim Trail. And I'm sorry this video is late, but I know this is going to help a lot of people. I hope. First of all, I wanted to tell you the 3 things that I'm going to be talking about in this video so you can follow along and not be confused. The first part, I'm going to be showing you my list and talking a little bit about each thing. And second of all, I want to tell you about certain things about the Tahoe Rim Trail that are important information. Third thing is going to be my changes that I would have made on my list. And final, it's my final thoughts, what I thought about my through hike and would I do it again. All right, stay with me and let's keep going. All right, so let's start first with what I use to carry all my stuff. And I did take with me my Zpacks Nero 38 liters. And this is the Robic material, Robic 100. Inside, I carry this little pad that I made from my Thermarest, and it's a great way to keep a little shape to my pack and makes it distributing the weight of the pack so much better. So I put it in the back like this. This is an amazing bag. I did take both my pouches, my waist pouches, but to be honest, they were very helpful, so I would take it again. Yes, and then I do have this attachment which is for my water bottle. Amazing, done by Justin's. It's amazing. I will link my Lighterpack down below in the description. Make sure you look at it, and then I have more information there for you. Next would be my tent, what I use to sleep in every night. This is the Zpacks pocket tarp with tub and doors. This is one amazing tent. It's super light. It's about 10 ounces, the whole thing, without the stakes. And I used to just roll them up every morning, just put it in here, and these are my stakes. The stakes that I used were Sheppard stakes, and even though everybody hates them, I actually love them. They were very nice, never had a problem. I remember just one time I put some rocks on them to hold them because it was a pretty kind of like a sandy ground, but other than that, they worked out just fine. Never had a problem at all with them. Keep in mind, inside my pocket tarp, I also have a Summit Nano Net, which works a lot to keep the mosquitoes out. I never had a mosquito, didn't have mosquito problems at all in my trip, during my trip. So, but maybe it can change from one year to the next. So it's up to you. I guess it would be your call. I guess I would take it again if I needed to. If I were to do the Tahoe Rim Trail again. My sleeping setup. So this was my sleeping setup. I took this light foam that I had. It's a long one, and it actually takes my whole entire hike. And I have a short pad, Thermarest X Light, and this would only go from my head to basically my knees, and after that I would, for my knees, my lower legs, and for my feet, I would just put my bag where I could rest my legs on top of it. So really good, very nice, and very warm too. So this was amazing. And my sleeping bag, it's the 30-degree Zpacks classic sleeping bag. This one has a zipper that goes all the way up, and this bag is amazing. I love it. I did not change for anything. This was my food setup. my actually to eating setup. Sorry, some things are still dirty. This is a cup that I have from Tokes, and this is just a cup. I didn't take a lid or anything. It was just a cup and my tiny little spoon. What I used as a lid was a piece of aluminum foil. I would just put the aluminum, cover it up, and put my spoon on top of it like this, just to hold the aluminum foil while things were cooking. Here's my lighter, and this is of course the BRS 2000 stove. Super tiny, super good. It's not so good in the wind, but if you have cover or like cook behind a rock or something, then it's just perfect. And this was a bandana that I had for cooking. It was great. I loved it. And this was where everything was inside. Everything would come inside here. This is actually a bag that I got my pocket tarp inside. Since I didn't want to hassle and every day go through the hustle that to try to put my pocket tarp in here, I just decided to make this my cooking bag. Now this was my toilet kit. Also all my bags are Dyneema, and they were amazing. Look, they're still good, awesome. Never had a tear or anything in one of them, and I used the entire last year, several of my trips too. This was my toilet kit. So this was my trowel to dig my holes. This was a pea bandana that I used, and I would just wash it I would just use my bottle to wash it and use the soap, and it was always clean, and I kept it outside hanging. So that way it was always dry and sterilized by the UV lights from the sun. This right here, it's my actually my bidet that I used. So every time I needed to clean myself, I would just hook it up like this and spray myself, take it off. There you go. This was amazing. This was a game changer for me. It was incredible. I didn't take with me toilet paper at all. I didn't have to worry about dragging toilet paper with me in my bag. And also, this is actually from a lab bottle, squeeze lab bottle, and the half a liter. It's the same size as the Smart water bottle. And this was my soap to wash. Now to my water setup. I took with me 2 bags only. Should have taken more because it only gave me capacity of 3.5 liters. 1 liter, 1.5, and 1 liter. This was my water setup. This was my filter, the micro squeeze Sawyer filter. It works perfect. I don't know why everybody hates it. I mean, I know, yes, it doesn't push water like the big Sawyer, but it's great. I mean, it works just fine. I don't see the problem. I mean, usually when I'm getting water, I want to sit down and rest anyways. This was a little bleach drops that I took with me, and this was very helpful for me because some water sources were, especially from lakes, I liked using bleach just to make sure that, you know, I wasn't gonna get sick or anything. And this was awesome. I used this to unclog my filter many times. This was what made this work. And I understand you would say, but why not take just the big filter? Because the big filter, you still have to back flush. And when you take the micro and the flush syringe, they work perfect together, and this one is smaller. Anyways. Okay, my rain gear. I took with me this tiny little umbrella that I got at Amazon, and it's about 6 ounces, and it did the job. It's great because it has a wind mechanism, and so it won't break. And this is the Enlightenment Equipment wind jacket. Amazing. This was my to-go every morning. It would make me so warm. I only got rained on one time during the entire trip, and it was just a little bit, just some sprinkles. So I think I made a good choice. This one helped me a lot also with sun, or at night when I wanted to block the wind inside my the doors on my tent. This one will help me. I would just keep it open and it would block the wind, and I could keep my things underneath it. I also had an extra bandana for wiping myself down, sweat, or whatever I needed. You know, clean my camera or whatever extra I needed for. This was my ditty bag. Here I had my toiletry. Here I had my repair kit. I also had my medicine and all my creams, and so basically this was my first aid kit. I took a mosquito spray. Never used it. I just did not have any problems with mosquito. And my mosquito net, so I don't know. I also didn't use it. Maybe I should have just carried everything in my mosquito net and left this at home. Okay, here are my electronics, and this is the 10,000 milliamp NeoAir battery charger, battery storage, and it's amazing. Only 5 ounces. Worked perfect. Charges really quick. This is my headlamp that I would use every morning because I would wake up in the dark, and this is also from NeoAir. It's the I forgot, it's the one that it says 20, not the 30. This one doesn't have the red light, which I don't use red lights anyways. This was my charger, and this was the different adapter for my charger. And this was my wall charger, which is from Anchor IQ. So it's just 1 ounce. And that was it. This were my electronics. This was my fanny pack that I carried on me. This was my Garmin InReach. I kept it actually turned off during the day because I had a lot of signal, especially in the higher elevations, 8,000 feet and above, no trees. You would get for sure signal. So this was just something that I used every night to send my kids something that I was okay, a text that I was okay. I carried my wallet and all my documents in here. This was my lip balm and my sunblock. This is an amazing fanny pack, huge, it was from Ultralight Mountain. I carried everything in here, like even more stuff from my bag. I would just put it in here during the day. So amazing, absolutely love it. It was a little pricey, but completely worth the price. And on my neck, I carry these things right here. This was my knife that I would use to cut cheese, but also I like to carry it in my neck. It's a neck knife. It's a tiny, small one. And I carried, just concealed under my clothes. I had a whistle. I had a mini light, just for at night when I would wake up and wanted to see something. I can just use this little light instead of using my headlight. And this was my thermometer. Awesome. This is one very useful tool to have when backpacking. Now for my bear stuff, food storage. I first carried this one. I started the trail counterclockwise, and I started in Kingsbury South Road. So for the first half, all the way till Tahoe City, I carried this bag, which is the earth sack. This was amazing because there are not that many bears around that area. Yes, there's one place that I saw bears. I didn't see it. I heard them at night, and it was during a lake. It was for a lake, but it's because there was a camping site there, and a lot of people camp there. So bears are used to going there and getting their food. So this was it. This was the earth sack. This is the extra large one, big one. But I did, in Gilmore Lake, I did get a bite of bears. I can't find it now, right here. The bears bit my earth sack. Also, on the second half in Lake Tahoe, I picked up my bear can. This is the small one. And it was, you know what, to be honest, I just had too much food. If I had taken the right amount of food, this one would have been just enough. But the thing is that I had to carry my earth sack anyways because I had no place to leave it. So I ended up carrying these two on the second half. Another thing that I didn't have in my gear, but I took, was inside the earth bag. I used a Lopsack bag to carry my food. And the combination of the two of them are great. Not smell proof because bears were able to smell my food. But it was pretty good. It was the best way for you to use the earth sack. You need to use the Lopsack inside. Something else also, I had a knee sports bandage. I use it a lot, especially when I start getting knee pain when hiking. But to be honest, this trip I didn't use it at all. I took it with me, but I did not need it. Now to my clothing. My clothing, I wore Saucony's hiking shoes. Not hiking shoes, Saucony's trail runners. I also had my socks, were the copper fit ones, which I always use for any kind of hiking that I do. I had a hat, large, bin hat, but with the back was flappy, so that way I could have ponytails and allow me to have my hat still on. I also have my trekking pole, which is a carbon fiber by Mountain. I forgot but I got it on Amazon. Extremely light, 5 ounces only. I only had one trekking pole that I used, and that's all I needed. I needed for hiking, which sometimes I did not use it. I used it mostly on downhills that were very rocky, but it was very helpful though. My trekking pole, when I was tired, helped me a lot, and also I used it for my tent. And I also wore hiking pants, those zip-off pants. I like them because they're lightweight. They're not too thick, so they didn't make me hot. They actually kept me pretty cool, and they dry really fast. As tops, I wore zip-up hoodie. Not just the hood. I needed it to have a zipper because that way I could open it up and vent when I needed in the heat. I also had underneath just a t-shirt. I also had a sleeveless top underneath the t-shirt. So those three were actually very warm for me in the morning. I didn't need it anymore, not more than that. I did bring my Peloton sweater, which is also super light. I rarely used it just a few times only. Mainly my zip-off hoodie was warm enough in the morning with my wind jacket on top. I also had a watch that would count my mileages, but to be honest, it wasn't that accurate, so I mainly used it just to look at the time. Okay, so now let's go for my special notes for the Tahoe Rim Trail that I think it's really important for people to know when it comes to logistics. I stayed at the host hostel, and it was a really good place to be. They don't have air conditioning or anything. It's not, full of comforts or anything, but it's just what you need. And it was about $40 every night. So I spent about one night when I got there and 3 nights when I came back just to rest my feet. Transportation, I depended heavily on Uber. Problem in Tahoe City is that there aren't many Ubers, so you really need to make sure you order an Uber as soon as you know when you're going to need it. I know some Ubers take people to the trails. For me, I actually, early in the morning when I wanted to start the Tahoe Rim Trail, I actually had to get a cab because there were no Ubers available at 5 in the morning, but there were cabs available. So I had a cab take me to Kingsbury South Road and start my hike right off the road. To get to Lake Tahoe, what I actually did from Utah, from Las Vegas, I traveled to Las Vegas with my car. From Las Vegas, I actually rented a car and I drove to Lake Tahoe. The good thing was that I was able to sleep in my car on the trip, and actually when I got there, I was actually able to drive around Lake Tahoe to cache my water. One thing that I thought was really important, I had a big, huge blister at the bottom of my foot. Why happened, I'm not sure. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, it was the shoes or it was the socks. To be honest, it happened on the 10th day of my hike. So if it was my shoes, it would have happened way in the beginning. If it was the socks, same thing. What I think it was is that my shoes did not have rock plates, and that was one problem. That the second part of the trail is very rocky, extremely rocky. I could feel the rocks poking my foot at the bottom. At one point, I thought I had a rock in my shoe. When I looked, it was my blister forming. And that was the beginning of the end, because that's what caused me to actually ended up leaving the trail. It was a horrible, horrible blister, became infected. I had to go to the hospital in Tahoe. And actually I had to get a tetanus shot. And so my advice to you is exactly this. Before you go to a long distance hike, make sure you get your tetanus shot. Because you never know, you can get into a big cut. You can get a big cut or something like that. And if you don't have your tetanus shot, it can become very, very serious. My other thing that I want to say is that the bear comments. The bear comments. The entire time when you stop and you talk to a hiker, oh my God, have you seen a bear? A bear, bear, bear. And after I got out of Tahoe City, I was very stressed out because I knew now I was going to sleep in a place where everybody was talking about a bear, especially comments on the Gut Hook app. Everybody was talking, there's a bear there in that place, there's a bear in that place. And I just couldn't go further. I had to stop that day on that place. So it was a very scary night. It was actually, I barely slept, but anxiety was through the roof. But to be honest, bear didn't show up. If it did, I didn't hear him. It was very quiet. It was awesome. So we have to take comments with a grain of salt, but always ask. Yes, comments and information of people that are coming, towards you. They're gonna give you great information, but don't let it get you fearful of continuing your hike. Also, temperatures. The highest that I saw temperatures during my hike, and that, keep in mind, it was mid-July through the end of July, was the highest I saw was in, I would say, 90, 89, 90. That was the highest temperature I saw, and I had my thermometer with me. And the lowest I saw was 40 something, 45, I believe. That was the chilliest night I've had. That was it. All the other nights were just perfect temperatures, perfect. And during the day, it would get hot around 12. That's why I started my hikes at 5 in the morning. I was always the first one in the camping sites to get up and go. I try not to make noise, but I think I ended up waking up a few people. Hopefully they don't hate me. So gear changes. What gears I would change on my list? I would have brought an extra charger, battery charger. battery block and an extra charger. So the charger that I had is just 1 ounce Anchor. I would have taken 2 of those, and I would have taken 2 Nightcore batteries, because they would give me 20,000 milliamps and they would be only 10 ounces. So it's still lower than the other options out there. And I would have been able to spend more, energy on my stuff. Like, I wanted to listen to more music. I wanted to be able to listen to stuff. I was always afraid I was going to run out of charge for my things. So I just ended up not being able to do everything I wanted to do. So I would have made sure I took 4 liters capacity, especially for the first half of the trail for me. Water where it was available only every 15 to 17 miles. So water, 4 liters capacity between water sources would have been great. I had 3.5. I made it happen. My luck was that I was only eating cold. I just wasn't cooking on the first half of my hike, so I didn't have to worry about water for cooking. But as the days would progress, I was drinking more and more water. So yes, 4 liters would be ideal. All right, so my final thoughts about the Tahoe Rim Trail. What can I say? I get emotional talking about it. It was my best experience I've ever had. I'm so grateful I did it. It was amazing. It was painful. It was tiring. From the gate, I had to hike high miles every day in order to be in my, within my plans. It was the most amazing experience I had this year in my whole life, to be honest. One of the most. It gave me balance to my life. Now, after doing this, I didn't obsess so much about gear. Now I feel more confident in doing another hike and knowing what to take with me. So if you're wondering, it's the Tahoe Rim Trail. It's amazing. It's beautiful, beautiful, absolutely worth it. Make it happen. My plan this year is to go back and finish it up so I can get my certificate. So it's going to be 1 or 2 days again, but that's it. Another thing that I learned was food is not that important, especially in the beginning. I was never hungry, ever. I hiked for 13 days, and I was never hungry. I just didn't want to eat. Did I suffer because of that? No. Actually, I lost a little bit of weight, but that was it. I was able to keep going. My energy was up all the time because I was always hydrating myself. I did take electrolytes with me, and those were really, really, really good. It did help me a lot. But I just wasn't hungry, and I don't think you need to worry about that much food in the beginning. You just don't. But we all have different metabolisms, so you gotta know what works for you. And the best thing before doing this trail is maybe doing a backpacking trip of 3 or 4 days. That'll get you going and knowing how you feel when you backpack. Another thing I learned is ultralight. I'm the ultralight hiker. I count every gram, everything in my bag. It took me months to get ready for this. I was just obsessed, and God, I was just so much into like trying to be as light as possible. And don't get me wrong, that was great. That was awesome because I was never exhausted. Like, I could keep going. That's one of the reasons why I was able to do 15 to 17 miles every day. But in perspective, looking from outside, I saw many hikers go by me with their 50, 60 pounds gear, and they would actually pass me. So don't get hung up too much into the lightest gear for you to take to this trail. Just go. Just take what you have. Make sure it's safe. That's it. But if you need to take more days to do this trail, make sure you plan. Plan. And plan accordingly to what you have. If you're going to have a heavy gear setup, then just plan according to that. You don't need to do 15, 17 miles a day. You can do 10, you can do 8. Make sure you can carry all the water that you need. Make sure your your water sources. And planning is what I can tell you. Planning, it's even more important than having all ultralight gear. Anybody can do this trail. It's amazing. I actually saw a little boy with his mom. He was 5 years old and he was doing the through hike. So yeah, it was one amazing experience. Don't get hung up on the weight. I like to be ultralight, but that's just a personal choice. Anybody can do it at any pack weight. And one last thing, solo hiking. Solo hiking was the best thing I could have done. Actually, I loved it. I thought I was gonna feel alone. Sleeping alone, I was petrified because I always backpack with my daughters. So I just didn't know. But solo hiking was actually one amazing experience. It was so empowering, especially for me as a woman in my age. Amazing. I met so many people. For being alone, I could actually just do the things that I wanted when I wanted. I could just plan my day as I wanted. And met so many people. To everybody that I met, I miss everybody. It was amazing. I can't wait to do another long distance through hike. It's just in me. It's in my blood now. It's part of me. I don't regret it. So if you are afraid to do a solo hike, don't be afraid. You're gonna learn so much of yourself. You're gonna talk to yourself a lot. You're gonna, I thought I was gonna be thinking deep into my problems and my things, and I wasn't. I was actually worried about getting to my next spot. Where was the water? What I would do, paying attention so I wouldn't fall and get hurt. That was, and didn't want to be on the weight of a bear. So it wasn't that I was just going deep in my problems, and no, it wasn't. It was just the experience of empowering experience of being out there by yourself. It's the most amazing thing I did. Yes, worth it, every minute. So that's it, guys. I hope this video was helpful. If you're planning to do your Tahoe Rim through hike next year, do it. If you have any questions or anything, just please post it in the comment section below. I will reply to the best of my ability. Don't be afraid. You can do it. And make sure you enjoy every single moment of it. And I might see you because I will be there for 2 days to finish my hike. All right. I will keep you guys posted. Other than that, please subscribe to my channel because I want to be doing more in-depth videos about each one of the things in my gear. Just more stuff, more hiking stuff, more lifestyle stuff too. I've been thinking about that too. So I hope you guys have an amazing new year. I hope you guys just enjoy this new upcoming year, and I hope all your dreams and wishes come true. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Peace.